first impressions. I mean, by the way, first impressions of Jalen Hurts was, whoa, wow. I heard two things last night at a Super Bowl party. The Jalen Hurts locker room stuff is not good. He is not popular.
The narratives, listen, I got to defend my guy Hurts. I'm dug in, defending Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Let's put some respect on his name.
Okay, it's not really, I don't think you can just subtly be like, Jalen Hurts is not well liked. And I heard it at a Super Bowl party last night and like say nothing else. Like, not liked by who? And who's saying this? Like, what's the story here? I've already gone on the whole rant about Jalen's personality and how it could rub people the wrong way, or how he can feel a little bit disconnected from a team just because of his personality, and that it's not inherently a bad thing. It's just often misunderstood and then twisted, especially in the media and in conversations. But like, is he not well liked by the franchise, right? Does he rub Jeffrey Lurie and Harry Roseman? Like, is he just like, not feeling good about that? Is it just an A.J. Brown thing? Because I do believe when push comes to shove, the type of person and the type of, the personality and the player that an A.J. Brown is, yes, 99% of the time an A.J. Brown is going to be way more liked than a Jalen Hurts. I've been on enough teams with enough guys and enough locker rooms that it's not even close. It's not even some of the antics, even if some of the stuff's a little annoying and some of the diva type stuff at the end of the day. Cooper, even someone on different side of the ball, a Cooper Dean, is just going to be able to connect with an A.J. Brown way more than a Jalen Hurts, just the way it goes. So that's why when you hear some of these things about being well-liked or not well-liked or this or that conversation, the reason why I take issue with the way how this was just kind of presented is because, like, it needs to be fleshed out so much more deeply. And you can see that the Eagles, they have a lot of players. Jalen Carter, AJ, Devontae, Siak, like, there's a lot of goofiness. There's a lot of lightheartedness. There's a lot. I get, on my own YouTube algorithm, like, I get fed a lot of the shorts from all the various teams when they're, like, in their locker room and they're interviewing them. The Eagles have it, the Chargers have it, like, all the teams do it. And you listen in those videos, you see them being, like, extra goofy and silly. It's social media type of stuff, but, like, we've seen the Eagles enough. We've seen the squad enough. We've seen them win a Super Bowl. We've seen them at the parade. We've seen them through all this type of stuff. And it's just not hard to imagine that Jalen Hurts can find himself on the outside looking in, because it's just not who he is. But guess what? This was controversial, and it shouldn't have been. And I'm not going to go on a whole long rant about it, again, but like, Jalen Hurts was one of the only players that was actually truly ready to play against the 49ers in the playoffs. Even defensive players were making concrete mistakes where Tom Brady's like, I don't know what you're doing there. Why did you follow so-and-so? And we know AJ wasn't ready. The O-line wasn't ready. Like, Jalen Hurts was ready. I went through all the plays he could make. And we can talk about, well, he missed this throw. Well, he did that. That's fine. He's a quarterback. You're not going to be absolutely flawless. But he was ready to play. He had ice in his veins in that game. He was focused and ready to play. And a lot of the other guys simply were not. I mean, you even have Nick Sirianni carrying on the sideline. Jalen Hurts was a man. Jalen Hurts had ice in his veins. He had ice in his veins. That matters so much. So yeah, he's less likely to be like cracking jokes and listening to music and dancing around with Jalen Carter and see what, like, yeah. So he's less likely to engage with that type of stuff. He's less likely to connect in that when they're all sitting and eating food. You know what? I'm sure Jalen is probably really boring to talk to and sometimes even uncomfortable. Honestly, I could just imagine if I was on that team right now, like, I would be trying to always talk like, I'm like, oh, who do you want to eat lunch with? It's like, I'm going to want to try to chill with Saquon. Like, you stuck with Jalen. I'm like, so what's up, Jalen? Not much. How you doing? No, good. What did you get into last night? Not much. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me neither. Yeah. 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 Yeah, sure. So I can see it. And now you're talking about like 23-year-olds, 24-year-olds, 22, whatever, who are like, they're not going to love Jalen. And because of some of the perception around Jalen as well, he's not in a position, and quite frankly, even if he had the narrative of him being great and special and elite, then they would still kind of have it twisted where like he's this way because of that. But I just think you have to understand that not everyone has this personality that is just the everymans can get along with anyone like Jalen. That is the one thing that Jalen does not have going for him. And again, that's okay. That's okay. When you will especially look at all the pressure and everything that's on Jalen's shoulders, it is a world of difference. A world of difference when comparing it to Saquon, Devontae, AJ, Blaine Johnson, Mulata, whoever you want to use. Like the entire world is on Jalen's shoulders. Imagine the pressure that Jalen had going into that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they literally said, the only reason why the Eagles would lose this game is because of Jalen Hurts. Guys, I've been on enough teams and been in enough locker rooms where I've either been the best player or I've been the worst player, and the feeling that you are the weak link of a team, that you are holding back the team, or you're the reason why you've lost. Like, listen, no matter what sport you're playing, baseball, basketball, soccer, football, at the end of the day, you can always be like, I wasn't the reason we lost. Like, even though I missed the ball or I dropped the pass or made a bad throw, whatever it is, like you still have, right? You still have 59 minutes of the game as well, right? So you still have all these other things. That's true. And, coaches will say that, players will say that, etc. But you still know if you were the reason why you won or lost. You still know whether or not you're facilitating or you're holding back. And there's no way that Jalen wasn't hearing those types of things nonstop. And we know they did, because that's why when he threw that dagger touchdown, literally his offensive line said, I love when they doubt you. And they picked him up like it's obviously like known. They feel it. They sense it. A.J. Brown even brought it in essentially. And so you're going to feel that. You're going to sense that. And to think that you can just magically endure that at the highest level. I mean, we're talking about pressure and negative narrative at the highest snorts level in one of the most intense sports cities in the country, if not the world. And you just want Jalen Hurts to be able to just be like, it's all good, baby. Let's have fun. Let's crack jokes. Let's walk around the locker room and dance when we're eating our lunch and dinner and whatnot. It's all fun. Like Jalen Hurts just about work, and he puts in the work. I mean, people did not love Kobe Bryant. That is known. They even highlight that in the One Redemption documentary, or, the Redeemed Team, whatever the heck it was called. They highlighted that nobody was like friends with Kobe. When Kobe came into the Olympic team, like it was like kind of like everyone just got like quiet. They were all kind of like, oh, Kobe's here. We can no longer have fun, Like seriously, like that's what it kind of was. It was like Kobe's here now. Like the energy just changed. It's like the feeling if you ever, when you're with a group of friends or whatever, and you're like talking about someone and that person shows that, they like walk into the room and you're like, yeah, no, so I think I am going to go to the movies tomorrow night. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. What are you guys talking about? I think we're gonna see the movies tomorrow. Gonna go to the movies. You just feel it. It just like the energy just changes, and you're just like, oh wow, the person we were just talking about is in the room right now, and you sense like, did they hear us talk about him? Do we know? Does he, and you just feel the energy change, shift. You felt that through the documentary with Kobe Bryant, and so. This is the way it is for some people, and the where you lose me is when you're a jerk, when you're not nice, when you're saying wrong, because you say, well, Kobe Bryant's Kobe Bryant, and that's true. Kobe Bryant is Kobe Bryant. But the truth is that it was about the work. That's where people lost like a Russell Wilson, because there was a perceived elitism there, and there was kind of like, I'm over here, you're over there. That's not what Jalen Hurts brings. That's not the story of Jalen Hurts. It's just a personality thing and just a serious, more focused, work-forward person. I mean, Jalen Hurts is probably not the person who you want to go see a comedy movie with. He's probably not that guy who we are just going to be laughing and having fun with. That's just not him. And like Tom Brady said, we're not here for Disney. We're not here to take your kids to Disneyland right now. We're not here for fun. We're here for work. If you want to have fun, go somewhere else. Now, I don't fully believe in that mentality either. And when Tom Brady ripped Baker Mayfield for his comments, because that's what it was with regards to like, I actually defended Baker and said, well, that worked for Tom, et cetera, et cetera. But like what I'm just trying to highlight here is more than anything is that like, there's all different personalities. And it's kind of funny because Colin always references Tom. He's like, Tom Brady goes out for drinks with the guys. And I'm like, okay. He shakes their hands and says, hi, I'm Tom. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's just kind of normal human behavior, man. And so, yeah, I don't know. These conversations, these little sound bites, they just need to be fleshed out more. I wish I could understand unbiased sources and like direct sources, because even if Colin trusts the source, which I assume he does, and it was from a great source, you got to be able to actually know to how to ask the right questions, because now we're talking about human behavior. Now we're talking about social interactions. You got to know how to ask those right questions to be able to figure out like, well, what are we actually talking about here? Okay? Like, what's the actual story here? What's the actual sense here? And you got to be able to know how to navigate that side of human relationships, which quite frankly, the vast majority of the media have no idea how to. They went to journalism school. It's a little bit different of a path. So that's why when I hear some of these things, I'm always kind of like, what do I personally observe and what do I see? As well as like I'm trying to read between the lines. I'm trying to hear the sound bites from the other people who are going to be more connected than I am and try to connect it all. And that's why that is what my conclusion about a Jalen Hurts is, that it's just more of a personality thing than a behavior than anything else. The way he treats other people, because he just perceives that he's better. It's just who Jalen is and who he's become, and really the pressure of what it is to be a quarterback in his situation. Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to more than anything. Yeah, those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts and his locker room presence and how loved or unloved he is? Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So, you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.